The Rams have finally made all the big moves they're going to make. Something else happens that completely changes the conversation, and that's exactly where we are right now. Today, we've actually got two important Rams stories to break down, and honestly, both of them could tell us a lot about where this team is heading as we get closer to the season. One has fans dreaming about another massive move that could make this roster even more dangerous. The other is official team news that could have a real impact on the depth chart moving forward. It honestly feels like this front office never stops working. Every single day there's another rumor, another roster move, another reason for Rams fans to wonder what Les Snead has cooking behind the scenes. And if even part of today's news becomes reality, things could get really interesting in Los Angeles. So stick around, because we're going through both stories, starting with the one that has everyone talking across the NFL. And before we dive in, if you're a real Rams fan, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to Rams House Daily, and join us from the very beginning. I'm Jake, the channel is still brand new, and our first goal is to reach 200 subscribers. So if you truly believe this team has what it takes to bring another Super Bowl to Los Angeles, become part of this community and let's build Rams House Daily together. Alright, let's get into the biggest story of the day, because this is one that's generating a lot of buzz around the league. According to CBS Sports' Carter Bands, the Los Angeles Rams have emerged as one of the potential landing spots for Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive tackle Vita Vea, after reports that the two-time Pro Bowler has requested a trade. And honestly, if you've been following this franchise over the past few months, this rumor almost feels perfectly on brand for the Rams. Think about everything that's happened already this offseason. The Rams are already being viewed by many analysts as legitimate Super Bowl contenders after adding the NFL's reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, to a defense that was already good enough to reach the NFC Championship game last season. Most teams would probably stop there, not the Rams. This front office, led by Les Snead, has shown time and time again that if there's an opportunity to improve the roster, they're going to explore it. We've even heard reports throughout the offseason that the organization has continued trying to convince Aaron Donald to come out of retirement. That tells you everything you need to know about their mindset. They're not satisfied. They're chasing a championship. Now another opportunity may have appeared. Vita Vea is entering the final year of his current contract, and according to reports, his camp and the Buccaneers haven't been able to agree on his value. Because of that, the veteran defensive tackle has reportedly asked for a trade, opening the door for teams around the league to make a move. When discussing possible destinations, Carter Bands specifically mentioned the Rams. His reasoning actually makes a lot of sense. He pointed out that if Aaron Donald ultimately decides to stay retired, V could become the next best option to strengthen the interior defensive line while pairing with Myles Garrett on the edge. Imagine trying to block Garrett coming off one side while Vita Vea is collapsing the pocket from the middle. That's a nightmare for opposing offensive lines. Bands also noted that making this type of aggressive move would fit perfectly with how Les Snead has always operated. Whenever the Rams believe they're close to winning a Super Bowl, they aren't afraid to push all their chips to the center of the table. We've seen it before, and we could absolutely see it again. There's another interesting angle here too. Vita Vea grew up in California, so a move to Los Angeles would bring him much closer to home, something that could potentially make the Rams an appealing destination if Tampa Bay decides to honor his trade request. Before everyone gets carried away, there are still several obstacles. First, the Buccaneers have to actually be willing to trade one of the most important players on their defensive front. Second, whatever team acquires V is going to have to pay him. He's looking for a new contract, and it probably won't be cheap. That's where things become complicated for Los Angeles. The Rams have other major financial decisions coming up, including a future extension for Puka Nacua, whose current contract is nearing its expiration. The front office has to balance going all in for a championship while also keeping the core of this roster together for years to come. That's never an easy calculation. Still, from a football standpoint, it's easy to understand why fans are excited. Last season, Vita Vea continued to prove he's one of the NFL's better defensive tackles. He earned a PFN impact score of 78.6, ranking 25th among defensive tackles. His pass rush grade of 80 ranked tied for 15th at his position, while his run defense grade of 76 ranked 30th. Those numbers may not place him at the very top of the league, but they show he's still an impact player capable of changing games. Add a player like that to a defensive front that already includes Myles Garrett, and suddenly offenses have even fewer places to escape. Now, does this mean a trade is imminent? No. Right now, this is still speculation based on a proposed landing spot. But with Les Snead running the front office, one thing we've all learned over the years is never rule anything out. If there's a chance to make this roster better, he'll at least explore it. And honestly, that's one of the reasons Rams fans have so much confidence in this organization. Let's move on to the second story, and this one is official. The Rams announced 2 roster moves over the weekend involving offensive lineman Justin Deddick and cornerback Alzillian Hamilton. Justin Deddick has officially been placed on the NAN football injury list, while Alzillian Hamilton has been placed on the physically unable to perform list. Let's start with Deddick. The 26-year-old offensive lineman is a native of Temecula, California, and played his college football at USC before going undrafted in 2024. His journey to the NFL hasn't been easy. After joining the Rams as an undrafted free agent, he survived the team's final roster cuts before eventually re-signing with the practice squad. Instead of giving up, he kept working. That persistence paid off. As a rookie, Deddick earned his way back onto the active roster, appearing in 13 games while making 3 starts. The Rams clearly liked what they saw because they tendered him as an exclusive rights free agent back in March. Last season, his role continued to grow. In 2025, Deddick appeared in 16 games and made 6 starts, giving the Rams valuable depth along the offensive line whenever his number was called. Being placed on the NAN football injury list means he'll have to work through whatever issue he's currently dealing with before returning to action. The organization hasn't provided additional details, so for now, we'll simply have to monitor his progress during camp. As for Alzillian Hamilton, the Rams placed the young cornerback on the physically unable to perform list, another move that will temporarily keep him off the field while he continues recovering. Obviously, you never want to see players unavailable this time of year. Training camp is where roster battles are won, chemistry is built, and younger players often earn bigger opportunities. Hopefully, both Deddick and Hamilton are able to recover quickly and get back on the field because depth becomes incredibly important over the course of a long NFL season. Championship teams aren't built with just their stars. They're built with the players who step up when injuries inevitably happen. And that's exactly why these roster moves, while they may not grab the same headlines as blockbuster trade rumors, still matter for the Rams as they prepare for another season with Super Bowl expectations hanging over this franchise. When you look at today's 2 stories together, they really highlight exactly where the Rams are as an organization. On one hand, they're being connected to another potential blockbuster move involving a proven player like Vita Vea, because the expectation inside this building is clear. Compete for a Super Bowl right now. On the other hand, the team is continuing to manage the roster carefully, making the necessary moves with players like Justin Deddick and Alzillian Hamilton as they prepare for the grind of another long season. That's what contenders do. They chase elite talent while making sure every part of the roster is ready for the challenges ahead. Whether the Vita Vea rumor turns into something real or not, one thing is obvious. Les Snead isn't going to stop looking for ways to improve this football team. And as Rams fans, that's exactly what you want to see. There's real excitement surrounding this roster, but there's also pressure. Expectations are higher than they've been in years, and anything short of a deep playoff run is probably going to feel disappointing. Hopefully, these next few weeks bring more good news than bad, because this team has a real opportunity to do something special. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Rams should make a serious push to trade for Vita Vea, or would you rather keep the draft picks and salary cap flexibility for the future? And what are your thoughts on the Justin Deddick and Alzillian Hamilton roster moves? Drop your opinions in the comments because I read as many of them as I can, and I love seeing what Rams Nation is thinking. If you enjoyed today's update, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Rams House Daily. We're still a brand new channel, and our first goal is to reach 200 subscribers. So if you truly believe in this team, believe they have what it takes to compete for another Super Bowl, and want to be part of this community from the very beginning, we'd love to have you with us. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Rams update.